Welcome back to another region overview for League 6. If you missed the first one we did on Valamore, make sure you go and check that one out on the channel. We'll be breaking down each region throughout this series to help you make your important region decisions in the upcoming league starting April 15th. Today, we're breaking down one of the most popular region choices in the past leagues, Asgarnia. So let's jump in and see what Asgarnia has to offer and what content and gear and tasks you can expect. Looking at what Asgarnia has to offer, there's a wide variety of skilling resources, mid-game PVM, and late-game PVM. In terms of the early game, what we get with Asgarnia is we're going to get 2 herb patches and another allotment patch on top of the 1 allotment and herb patch that you already receive in the starting area of Valamore. In terms of other skilling activities, you're also going to receive Mahogany Homes, which is going to be a construction training alternative to the click-intensive ordinary construction training. We'll also get the Rogue's Den, so we'll have the Rogue's outfit, and also a fire right next to a bank to help with that 1-tick cooking if you're going for high cooking tasks. We'll also have the Motherlode Mine and Mining Guild, so some early mining training there, the Dwarven Mine as well, so that will really set you up for all of your mining grinds. Staying on the topic of skilling, we're also going to get the Crafting Guild. So this is going to give you, once you have 99 crafting, a super close bank teleport with your crafting cape. This is going to be extremely useful if we see something like Last Recall again, having a one-click teleport pretty much straight to a bank to then be able to recall back to whatever you were doing. Not to mention, Asgarnia also includes many different woodcutting options, which will help with those early woodcutting levels. Along with the Crafting Guild, other key areas that you receive with Asgarnia are the Warriors Guild for your Defender and the Tavoli Dungeon, which will aid with your Slayer grind. Moving on to PVM, and Asgarnia gives us a host of options, all with their own unique benefits. In the early game, you're going to get the Giant Mole. So this provides you with nests through mole parts, which are a great way to get seeds in your early and mid game. So helping with that early farming grind, herb lore grinds, really, really important. Also going to get the Royal Titans. So this is new since the last league. They're going to give you the prayer upgrade scrolls, which is a great option if there's no Ruinous Prayers book, or if you're not taking Karen for those upgraded prayers through the raid. The final early game piece that you're going to get in Asgarnia, and potentially the most important overall, is you get access to pest control. Now, we know that Jagex nerfed the XP you get from pest control in leagues, and we're not going to be able to use that to just superpower our combat. But what it does provide is a great early and mid-game armor set that can help you progress into that later content. So we've talked about the early game. Now let's discuss where Asgarnia really shines. Late game PVM. So what PVM do you get with Asgarnia? Well, you get God Wars. So all your God Wars dungeon bosses, all the gear that comes along with that, including Nex, which is going to give you the best in slot melee strength bonus armor, especially so if you're building that melee build, really important piece of the puzzle. Also going to get Cerberus, which, does have some pretty solid upgrades considering we're getting Valamore for free. That is going to essentially allow you to make the max Divernic Treads, which are the best in slot boots. Along with that, we're also getting the Whisperer. So while we already have Vardorvis that is going to give us Virtus armor, the Whisperer is going to give us a Bellator ring. So best / bonus ring there. If you're planning on taking the Scythe as your raids weapon, that's really going to help with that. Now for everyone's favourite part. What unique gear do we have access to in Asgarnia? Well, you're going to get the Rogue's outfit. This is going to give you double loot from thieving, which is particularly nice if you plan on taking Mauritania for blood shards as well. The other skilling outfits that you're going to get from Motherlode Mine and Mahogany Homes are going to give you a little bit of an XP increase, but are mostly just going to be there for tasks at the end of the day. In terms of PVM content, as we've already discussed, you're going to get Void Armor. So this is going to be a good mid-game armor option, and it's going to increase your accuracy at some higher tier bosses. You're also going to have access to the Dragon Defender with the Warriors Guild, which, unless you're taking Mauritania, will be your best in slot offhand if you're going with a melee build. You're also going to get the Twin Flame Staff from the Royal Titans. So this is a good mid-game staff that provides unlimited fire and water runes, Also gives 10% accuracy and damage increase on standard spells. The bonus with this as well is an autocast weakness if your opponent has one and you have the correct runes. The Royal Titans also are going to drop the prayer upgrade scrolls, which are going to give you an overall increase in DPS in range and mage. Moving away from Royal Titans and going into God Wars, it's going to give you access to Dragon Boots. Now, these are good all-round melee boots. They do have a higher Slayer requirement at 83, but considering you're not going to get prims for melee until at least 90 Slayer, these are a good in-between option. Obviously, when we think of God Wars, what's the first thing you think of? God Swords. These are going to be great spec weapons with the ability to do high damage, defense reduction, and also give you some health or prayer restoration. Other weapons offered by God Wars include the Zamorakian Spear, which is a high stab bonus weapon and also possesses minor defensive bonuses. Sticking with Krill, and you can get a Staff of the Dead, which is a high magic damage one-handed staff. You can also auto-cast the Arceus spellbook if you choose Current as well, which is very helpful. In terms of ranged, you can pick up the Armadillo crossbow, which is going to be a good mid to late game crossbow and is going to be required for your ZCB upgrade. God Wars doesn't just offer weapons, however, but also some of the best armor anywhere in the game. It's going to give you access to Bandos armor, which is going to be a strength bonus armor equivalent to Blood Moon, but with higher defensive bonuses for that content that hits a bit harder. In terms of ranged, you can access Armadillo armor, which is great ranged armor that can also be used to fortify Missouri if Desert's taken, and if not, will probably be your best in slot for the rest of the league. We also then move to Nexus drops. You have the Torva armor, which is your highest melee strength boosting armor in the game, and also provides some great defensive bonuses, as well as your Zarite Van Braces, which are going to be your best in slot ranged hand slot. The final big drop from Nex is the Nihil Horn, which can be used to upgrade the Armadillo crossbow into the more powerful Zarak crossbow, which possesses one of the best ranged special attacks in the game. Outside of God Wars dungeon gear, Asgarnia is also going to offer all of Cerberus' boot upgrades, giving you an upgrade for each style, as well as the Bellator ring from the Whisperer. By now you must be thinking, well, Asgarnia sounds great, what's the catch? And the answer to that is you're going to be spending a lot of time on completing tasks in this region. Asgarnia has a lot of RNG-based tasks, such as equipping God Wars and Nex uniques, and obtaining Cerberus uniques, who can only be killed on a Hellhound task. In addition to this, Asgarnia has previously had some extremely high kill count tasks, including 500 KC at a God Wars dungeon boss, and 300 Nex KC. You're also likely to see tasks for completing all the combat achievements at each God Wars dungeon boss, Nex, Cerberus, and the Whisperer. On top of these high-level PVM tasks, we can also expect to see tasks around obtaining rewards from Mahogany Homes and the Golden Prospector outfit. You can also expect some tasks around the Giant Mole, Royal Titans, and equipping defenders. Asgarnia's task distribution is definitely geared more towards the late game, and a good portion of the points available in this region are going to stem from late game PVM. So if you are planning on taking Asgarnia, I would highly recommend waiting until your second or third region, as your progress will be really slow if you take this first. Asgarnia is one of my favourite regions and has been a part of my league's gameplay the last 3 leagues. If you're prepared to potentially face some tough grinds, it can reward you with some fantastic gear to complete your league's journey. Let me leave you with my final thoughts. This region pairs extremely well with Desert for a range build, and Asgarnia should be a lock if you're planning on a melee build. It has a good amount of skilling activities available, paired with the starting region of Valamor. There are no real unique endgame magic upgrades that aren't already available, except for the Mystic Vigor upgrade. Potentially time-consuming region if you're going for Dragon rank or high scores, given RNG-based tasks at God Wars, Nex, Cerberus, and Whisperer, so keep that in mind. It is a great pickup as a second or third region, but will slow your progress significantly if it's taken first. Overall, considering everything, I would give it an A tier. Let me know, is this the strongest late game region? Well, that wraps up our Asgarnia overview for League 6. While we're still waiting on more leagues information, is this a region you plan on taking? If you made it this far, let me know which boss you think will be the Echo boss for this region in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to make sure you don't miss the future region overviews. And thanks everyone for watching.